Okay, I think we got it. Hi, everybody. I'm gonna pop on for just a second. Wait for some people to pop on. How's everybody doing this week? I think we're gonna have some smooth sailing until towards the end of the month, and then we're gonna see some more catastrophic things, unfortunately. And then I think we can start repairing and moving up the hill. And in summer, spring and summer, hopefully we can get going really good. So my twin and I are working really hard on our oracle cards. And I think I showed you guys the picture. This is going to be, let's see, the box, the front part of the card. It's going to be a deck of 44. Um, it's going to have a booklet in it. And I think I went over this last time that the booklet will have upright and reverse cards because I feel like that's really important because I want the cards to be where it lets you know if you're on track with the card or if you have a lesson to learn with the card. So I think that's going to be pretty good. And then I will do a description on how I like to do my cards and use my guide to pull my cards. So not everybody probably would want to do it that way, but at least you'll have some information about it. So this booklet, this is so much the cards, this is almost half, and I have a second booklet that I'm writing on. I like writing in notebooks. I know it's really weird. And then I put them like a book in a shelf. And this book is Erwin Saunders' notebook. I got off of Amazon. And he has a YouTube channel. And I don't know if you've ever seen his YouTube channel. Look him up on YouTube. He has little fairy people that he videotapes and is quite elaborate. And he claims that it's real, but I think it's make-believe myself. But it's entertaining and it's quite cute and quite clever what he does. He puts a lot of time into it. So, and then he had these notebooks. So I have two of these notebooks to work with my cards. And so working with them. And then I just handwrite it upright and reverse. And then I read it and send it to my twin who's working really good on it. So I appreciate his effort. Poor guy. I was up. This is how I roll. I woke up at 2:21, and so I just had this epiphany of the look of the cards, the pictures, because we want to kind of have them uniform but distinct. And I want to have them where it's kind of something you've maybe never seen before, and it's attractive to the eye also, but not cutesy, more a little bit sophisticated. Um, and so I had all these ideas that woke me up last night. And so I'm sending one by one. I think I sent 1 to 10 pictures of ideas for the cards of each card, 1 through 10, one by one email. So I sent 10 emails last night to my twin at 2:21 to probably 3:30 last in the morning. So he bears with me because most of my best work is when I'm woken up, and I have to learn to accept that. So, hey, Boxster. Hi, is it Ely or Eily? Hi, you guys. And I think the cards are actually, when my twin was working on the cards last night, he goes, I think he was learning a lot about himself through these cards, and I think he liked it, and so I like that because he's someone that's he's my helpmate in this, but he is interested in all this, but he's not as intuitive as I am. So I really appreciate his feedback on it. So I think they're going to be super cool. Speaking of cards, let's do some cards. And then I want to talk to you about what I did today before we get into everything that I want to talk about, because I have lots to talk about. So sit back and relax. Um, I'm going to start with new cards this year. Since this is a new year, I'm always going to do an animal card. But I have 2 new decks, and I like to support people on Etsy that do oracle cards. They're more expensive, but oracle cards can be expensive to make, especially if you have a really fancy book and a fancy box and oracle cards. So this person does not have the box, and it's a really beautiful deck off of Etsy. It's Wolf Spirit of Loyalty oracle cards. The only thing is she doesn't have her name on here, so you'd have to Google it. But anyway, it's really cool because this opens in the back, the face, and then the oracle cards are inside. The only thing, and I like to look at other people's oracle cards, how they have it structured now that I'm working on mine. The only thing is, here it is. She has the writing so small, I can almost not read it. Look at that writing. Look how small that is, because she doesn't have a book, so she puts it right there. And I went, okay, I'm going to try to read this to you. Hopefully I don't need to get a magnifying glass, but what is written is really profound. And also I wanted you to see my new addition here. I got that off of Zazzle. I was working on my store and this popped up, and this is Trump with a Sasquatch and UFOs behind him. And I framed it. And I think it's awesome. So I just had to show it. You know, I put new things up here all the time. So I thought that was cool. That's going in my front room. It's super cool. And then, so this oracle deck, I'm going to go through her oracle deck this year. And then I got a really cool oracle deck off of Amazon. And I learned that it's a generic oracle deck. I think it's AI. It's from China. It has no person's name on it, but it's beautiful. And it's all sea, underwater, nautical. And so we are going to do this deck because I really like this deck a lot. So this is going to be the new thing for this year, is we're going to use these two cards with our animal cards still. So let's go into the animal cards, which fell out of the deck. And I have two different decks of animal cards, so I'm using my second deck that I normally haven't used on you guys before. So this one fell out, and it was number 45. Numbers, I guess, are very important for you guys. And it's Parrot Spirit. So it's the parrot, and it says, watch your words. I really like parrots. I like birds. Actually, you can really train a crow to do a bunch of stuff. But even though my name's Robyn, I don't really like birds that much. To have one as a pet, I would never want a bird as a pet. I wouldn't even know how to interact with a bird. So, but I think it's cool to watch them. So this week, just watch your words. If something may come up that you need to watch your words. Someone needs that. And then the next one is very much an interesting card. That when this card comes up, I always think, I came home from work one day and I saw this creature walking on the sidewalk, and it was really low to the ground, and it was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was wide. It was really wide. And I thought, oh my gosh, is that a hurt cat? And it was right in front of my house. So I pulled over onto the side of the road instead of going into the back driveway, just to see if I can help this animal or what it was. And before I even got out of the car, I go, okay, that's not a cat. I don't even know what that animal is. Well, it was a badger. And we have a badger in our neighborhood somewhere. Only seen it once. I've been here almost 20 years, and I've only seen it once. And it was walking on the driveway right in front of my house. And so we got the Badger Spirit card. And it says, be fearless and bold. So this week, be fearless and bold. Okay, now to the new cards. So the nautical cards, the sea turtles came out. Navigate life's challenges with patience and grace. Trust that slow and steady progress leads to success. And I kind of, I took a class today, and I want to talk to you about this class that I took. So that's cool. And then the next one is super cool. It is Sea Dragons. Embrace your inner power and let the majestic spirit soar through life's depths. That's pretty cool too. Okay, let me see if I can read this one for you. This is the Guardian of the Pack. Take on the role of guardian. Protect those you care for with vigilance and responsibility. The guardian of the pack is responsible for the safety of its members. This card symbolizes the importance of protection and vigilance in caring for others. And that is an amen. And I think this is super powerful now because you're the guardian of the pack. Because now is the call to take care of others, like not before, especially in the United States. We're having a lot of trauma happening in the United States. And so where you can, do the best that you can. If you need to give or help or open up homes, etc., etc., see if you can go with that calling. Okay, and let's see. Okay, so my class today was with Cindy Carter. I think she had about over a dozen people in the class. It was Zoom. And I think she needs to have it again because I think she should probably have it once a month where new people can come and go to the class, or even have us go again, because she gives us so much information and good information. Sometimes it falls, goes by. So yay, Cindy Carter, listening while cooking. Okay. So I'm talking about you, Cindy. So it's cindycarterhealing.com. And I was just saying, Cindy, I think you need to have your class once a month for us to return to and learn more, because you gave us so much information. It was great, but sometimes it goes off in my head. Or new people to come on. So if Cindy Carter has this class again, we did a 2024 release, and I want to hit some bullet points that I wrote down. And so if I have it wrong, Cindy, forgive me, because sometimes I say things that maybe not exactly what you said. But so what we did is we did drawing, and I kind of want to not talk too much about it, but she has things that she wants you to release from 2024. So there's things in your life that you want to release in 2024, and then you have room to make new and bring it into 2025. And so she kind of gave us a little idea prior to the class of what we want to draw on. Since I'm and try to be an artist, I decided I'm going to hone into this last night and delve into what I want to draw. And so there's some things I wanted to release in 2024, and I put like me carrying all this garbage from 2024 on my back, and I'm going up a hill to the sun, and there's little flowers along the way, and then the rays of sun this way have hearts on it that are coming at me. So I'm going to drop that bag and I'm going to continue up the hill. So there's just certain things I wanted to release, and it was very interesting what I thought of to release, because I actually had a hard time deciding what I wanted to release. And I think I kept thinking, I'm good, but I got to dig deeper. I got to figure this out because I know I'm not good. I'm not perfect. And so I thought, okay, so I came up with 3 things I wanted to release. One was kind of a common thing, like shadow work was part of something I might want to release. And then she came up with present tense. How do you make it happen? And in 2025, I saw myself freedom. I want freedom. And she hit me with an anomaly that is, I mean, some of the things that she hit me with were just so common that why didn't I think of that? So 2025 added up, 2025 equals 9. I have that in my oracle cards. I talk about 9 twice in my oracle cards, that it is, first I have the 9 lives, and then I talk about 9, and I talk about it in, I think I talk about it in, is it the Badge of Truth? I have the Badge of Truth, Dragon Apocalypse, Brotherhood. Was it Brotherhood? Anyway, I talk about 9 in one of the cards, and I give you a completion. It's a completion. Um, and the Chinese, it's this end, and then you go into not Shambhala or Nirvana. You go into Nirvana after 9. That's what I was trying to think of. So I have that in there. So when she said 9, I went, no way, I can't believe you're talking about 9, because that was like huge in my oracle cards. So, and then my goals for this year. And, one of my goals is the oracle cards, because the oracle cards, I feel, will bring others to freedom in Christ consciousness. Even though they're not a religious card, they do mention God, they do mention Christ, and Christ consciousness. And they do, every single one of these cards is to motivate you, understand you, and bring you to light, and to make you think. Everything I do, I want you to feel and think. I want it to promote thought. And even my books, I want it to promote thought. You may not agree about everything that I say or do, but it promotes thought. And it activates those little cells in your brain to think and to inquire and to ask. And that is exactly what I'm here to do, is to get that brain going. She did talk about heralding. And when you talked about that, Cindy, that was amazing. And I wonder if you'll allow me to make a heralding card in the oracle cards. So if you say no, that's okay. But I just had an epiphany, because I have 4 more cards I have to do, and I couldn't think of what I wanted. But that heralding, I really like that. And you announce to the universe your intentions. It's just like an angel with a trumpet. You're you're telling the world and the universe and the celestial your intentions. And this is important, because it's your declaration. It's with your clarity and purpose. So she mentioned that. And I liked what she said about time. And it's funny, I wanted to do a card about time. I actually even have the picture that I want for this card on time, but I just couldn't figure out exactly what I wanted to talk about on time. And she mentioned something really amazing, that the matrix accepts time as a command, and fuel intentions with your signature. So time actually is very important. And I know she's probably seen it, I've seen it, that time goes back and forth. And I wrote in one of my cards that, our past is our future, which would be time past is our future forward. And it's very important for us to pay attention to that. And then she actually talked us through a lot of things, which I don't want to tell you too much, because I want you to go to her class. You have to have your own experience. I really felt that my message board, everybody had all this stuff written all over their board, that she wanted us to draw certain things and then be inspired and energy towards this board. And I really was having a hard time. And I was kind of going, I just did the top of my board and the bottom of my board. The sides are empty. And I really didn't feel like I had like that much to do. But it actually surprised me what I did do. The top of my board are the things that I wanted out of my life. I wanted out of this circle. I claimed it as dead energy. I wanted my dead energy, things that, like through shadow work, insecurities, disbeliefs that I have, mistrusts that I think, I think everybody has mistrust. Everybody has a hard time with trust. But I think last year really cramped our style. It cramped my style on, I couldn't believe anything anybody said. I couldn't watch anything. AI is coming into place and don't even know what I'm watching is real. So now everything is like topsy-turvy. You just don't know what to believe. So the only thing that you can believe in is here, is you. It has to come from here. So I just drew dead energy. I wanted it out. I was just like casting it out. And I was drawing. It's just like boom, 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 boom. I have little arrows all around it. It's red and black. Just get out, get out, get out. So my dead energy, and you put yourself in the center. And I don't know why I put myself um, in the middle of a earth. I feel earth is very important to me. Um, and it's, I don't know. I've always had a thing for round things also. I'm huge into, whenever I've done a painting, every painting has something round in it. If it's an orb or something. And then at the bottom, which is more the more positive part of it, I put alive, and I put purpose, patience, Christ consciousness, resourcefulness, health, love, uh, which all that to me creates my freedom. That's my freedom. And the weird thing that kind of shocked me was I made veins to each one of them. They're like veins, but it's all the positive. But they're veins that lead me to my freedom, which shocked me because I went, okay, that's kind of interesting. And she talked about that. That was very good talking about that. So then you write, I have successfully transmitted mistrust and disbelief, which is my thing, out of me. So next time Cindy Carter or I advertise that she's having this class, I really challenge you to go to it because it is going to make you think. And I like to kind of go to it again because I kind of want to hear it again. Because it was really good. And she told us things. So when she tells me things that blow my mind, then I think about that. And she's over here talking, but I'm still over here thinking, whoa, she said 9, and so that's all good. One of the people in the class was working on successful finance business contacts in the last 5 minutes. While he was sharing his drawing, he got word of great business offer. Awesome. That's pretty quick, huh? Yeah. And so and Cindy, we're gonna get you on my show, so we can talk and we can just kind of you have so much wisdom in you, and you have your training. And so I really want you on my show. So we'll have to figure that out. I have to figure out how to get, I'm on Zoom. I have a Zoom, and I have to figure out how to get Zoom onto YouTube. So I don't know if I need to pre-record it and then transfer it to YouTube, or if I can do a live show with it. So that's what I need to figure out. Okay, we are going to talk about The Wizard of Oz, because now you know that Wicked is out. I haven't seen Wicked. I know a lot of people have probably seen Wicked, but I haven't seen it yet. And so I was at work, and I go, where did The Wizard of Oz come from? Was this just like Hollywood writing it, this fairy tale, or is it a book? No one knew. No one knew. And so we looked it up. Sure enough, it's a book. And it's a book by this gentleman, L. Frank Baum. And so I really want to talk about this because he is a very interesting character, and he had a very interesting life, and how the wonderful Wizard of Oz became to be. So, like any author, they draw off their environment around them when they write, and I know that from me. Their intentional network is within them, their internal network, and life and world events they usually write about. So, The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum drew on the Gilded Age of time and environment. So, this is way back in the 1800s. If you've never heard of the Gilded Age, that is not the Golden Age, it's the Gilded Age. And so, for instance, in the late 1890s, the U.S. recently recovered from the Civil War. That's how far back we're going, bringing in new territories that brought in prosperity for some. But farmers were struggling. So farmers and workers became against the urban elites. So at that time, after the Civil War, there was people that started building cities, became urban elites, and then you have your farmers and workers that were struggling, while the elites, all the money was going to the elites. What does that sound like? So in 1896, a movement had grown called the People's Party. Interesting. In Oz, Dorothy is a simple girl in America when one day her life is turned upside down by a powerful force out of her control. So now let me break down some of the characters that actually L. Frank Baum talked about that came out through the characters, that even though it's a children's book. And he loved children and he loved to do all this for children. So the Munchkins were common people oppressed by the Witch of the East, which are the bankers and the monopolies. So that's what he, I thought that was awesome because he kept them small because he wanted to show that the higher up kept these people small. Amazing metaphor. The Scarecrow is the farmer, and he's considered naive but very resourceful. So that's how he came up with the Scarecrow. Also, the Scarecrow, when he was a child growing up, they had, I think they had a farm. He came from a wealthy family, and they had a farm, and he would stare at the Scarecrow a lot as a little kid. So the Scarecrow kind of came like that, but he said it represented the farmer. The Tin Man is the industrial worker, dehumanized by factory labor. And then the Cowardly Lion, he put down is William Jennings Bryan, who I don't know who that is, who could be an influential figure if he if he was only brave enough to adopt the populist radical program. And so together they traveled along the Golden Road to the Grand City, whose rulers' power turned out to be built on illusions. Ooh. So we can relate to everything that he was writing about. We can relate to pretty much now. As I say, things that are happening now are kind of nothing new. They're in our face more, but they're really nothing new. And so why do we expect more from a faulty system? So, and I think that's what he kind of goes on. The author published this observations in an essay. His claims that this fantasy was actually a subversion critique of American capitalism appealed to many people in the 1950s. They also had speculation that Dorothy's dog, Toto, represented, I don't know if I can even say this, Teetotalers of the Prohibition Party. So Prohibition, wasn't that when you can't have alcohol? And then I wanted to know, since I was going down the rabbit hole, how did he get the name Oz? You know, such an odd name. And so there's two speculations. I think one is true. This one I don't think is the true one. But Oz is an important unit in silver debate. So like it's an ounce, OZ, ounce. But I think the true truth on this one is this man was a storyteller. He actually, when he was 24, he went to New York to be an actor. He was a daydreamer. He was always a daydreamer. And his family worried about him because he would just daydream all the time. So they sent him to military school to snap out of it, get real, snap out of your daydreaming. And so he went to military school and he still daydreamed and he got in major trouble. He got, I think, out of probably the stress of it, he got really, really sick. They said he had a heart attack, but he was only like 14. So he might have had a weak heart, but he was just a daydreamer. And so he when he went into New York for acting, it was like his forte. He was a storyteller. He was an actor, very flamboyant in his nature, not in his dress, but in his nature. He met his wife in New York when he was there, and he wrote a couple plays, which he was able to produce the plays. And he married a woman that's mother was the main activist for women's rights to vote. She was one of the main women that got women have a right to vote. So he married the daughter of this woman. So I thought, wow, for a daydreamer, he married into a very strong female family. Okay. And so, let's see, he published several books. Even his very first book that he published was a hit because there wasn't really many children's books out. And so he published a book called Mother Goose in Prose. And so, oh, I didn't finish telling you about Oz. So he was telling people story in, I think it was in his den, and he had a cabinet. And the kids kept going, well, what land does Dorothy live in? What land is she in? And he didn't know. And so he looked over at the cabinet and he was looking at like A-D. So the last one was O-Z on the cabinet, filing cabinet. So he goes, Oz, the land of Oz. So that's how he came up with Oz. So I thought that's super cool. Also, I think they made Oz, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, into a silent film. He made a lot of money, actually, in his life. And so he was able to be a daydreamer. He wrote several books of Oz. And I don't know if Wicked comes from one of his books or not, because it goes back into the fairy princess and the good witch and bad witch, the two bad witches and the good witch, because Dorothy landed in Oz on one of the Witch of the East, not sure. Anyway, so he made so much money, millions of dollars of his time, lived in a very nice home, and then somehow he just couldn't keep control of his money, and he lost everything. So then he had to start over, and because he stopped writing, because he had so much money, and they just kept living in the lifestyle, and that money went away. And so then he had to start over and start writing again. So that's why he wrote more books of Oz, because he needed money. And of course, each book was a hit. Every book was a hit. And then I think he only lived to about 62 of heart problems. And he wrote 2 more books before he died because he wanted to take care of his family. So he wrote 2 more books that would take care of his family. And then the rights were sold, I think, in 1940 to a studio mogul. And then it took a lot of work to get The Wizard of Oz on the movie, because they had to do it in Technicolor, and Technicolor was a new thing. And to do a whole big show film in Technicolor was huge. And I guess it was super hot because they had to do certain things. And so there's lots of horror stories on the movie of getting it produced. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to channel this man. And he is quite flamboyant. So if I start moving my hands and talking really kind of interesting, just bear with me, because he just looks like a common guy, quiet little guy, but he was very much a storyteller. And he's, in my mind, he's very excited to talk to you guys. So we are bringing him forward. So give me just a minute. Do you guys have any questions before I bring him in? Okay, perfect. All right. He's laughing. He's going, ha ha, like that. My name's Frank. Welcome. He's saying, welcome to my show. Welcome to my show, he says. Frank Baum here. Everything she said is true. I was leading her on what I wanted her to say. Yes, I was just a common man with a great mind. I had great fantasies in my mind. Yes, I had some underlying messages. Of course, every writer has. No one knew unless I told you what the messages were. The children loved my books. Because, in my day, each child was read a story at night. Before they went to bed, a parent went into the room and read to the children, releasing their minds to a great fantasy of make-believe. That is lost in your day. Your fantasies are fabricated, electronic. They're not magical, not as magical as they should be. Remember as a child when your parents read to you and you were in bewilderment and wonder and you had questions and you just dreamed of all the wonderful things. You have so many good stories out there for your children. You should bring them back. You should bring them back and read to them. It's very important, I feel, to challenge a child's mind, to open up its fantasy. Fantasy is amazing because fantasy can also bring in reality. And I do connect with this soul because she was a dreamer. She dreamed all the time. People could be talking to her. She would not hear them because she was in her own world, where sometimes fantasy is reality talking to you. Sometimes fantasy can save you from problems, save you from stress, and save you and bring in a whole new world of life. I loved children. It was magical. I had a great life. I really did. No one could understand me except my wife. My wife was the perfect woman for me. She actually was a lot smarter than I am, and she was more foreboding than me. I was kind, gentle, and laughed. You see, we're two opposites, but you want to know? We worked together. We were a team. I could have never imagined marrying anybody else. I was as faithful to her from day one to my dying day. I needed no other. I had women that were attracted to me because of who I was and how much money I had. But they were nothing to me because I had the love of my life that was my support system and believed in me. See, it matters when someone believes in you thoroughly, truthfully, honestly. That's what love is. At least that's what I thought love is. And she gave me 4 sons. She gave me 4 sons. Have you ever seen childbirth? That was quite scary for me. But then to see the baby was amazing. A miracle from God. It was amazing. I loved my sons. Unfortunately, during their young age, none of my books had been written, and I was a salesman, and I had to travel. I had to bring food home to my family. And so I did what needed to be done because I was a man, and I had to stop daydreaming for a while and take my place as a husband and a father. And I took that very seriously, completely seriously. And I did a fair job. But when it came to writing, and you see, when I traveled on train. So I had time to write. And I wrote my first book going to work and home, to work and home. And then I compiled it together. And my parents, at a young age, gave my brother and I a printing press. And so I knew how to put my book together and to lay it out. It sold immediately. Immediately. We couldn't even print enough. And then we had others help us, publishers. And then they knew that I was the golden egg. And I continued with my writings, which let me stay home with my family and be with my wife. See, my wife was my best friend. We talked, we counseled, we communicated. We were just a really good team. I am so honored and thankful that in my life, that time, she was mine. And my sons, I adored. 2 of them followed in my footsteps in writing, and 2 did not, which is fine. What I want to talk to you now is not of the Wizard of Oz. Actually, the Wizard of Oz was very complex to write because I could go dark and deep down that hole in certain areas of the Wicked Witch. But I had to control some of that darkness because I didn't want to scare the children. But I felt in time, see, I think I could see the future. And I could see those that would suppress common people. I could see darkness, the evil, and I could see untruth, which was managing the whole system behind the curtain. And then when you pull the curtain back, there's nothing there. And that is what you people need to realize, that when you pull the curtain back, there's nothing there but a little old man with a lot of machinery to make things look big and powerful and scary. So don't be scared because there's nothing there. Stand on your own 2 feet. Realize that the power is within you. The power is in your imagination. Cease to be scared and belittled. Everything that's happening to you now happened in my day, but just in a different way. See, things were starting to escalate in my day. Now they have totally controlled you. Controlled the means, the populace, the media. Even your movies are not the same. Your movies mean nothing. Your movies say nothing. They don't promote the fantasy, the imagination, the awe. They give you killing each other, not being a good mate. It just is the wrong message now. So seek out those good films that give you the right message, that promote faith and promote thought and mystery. Do not emulate what you're seeing today because it's falling. I can tell you that now. The Babylon Bee is falling. It's crumbling because it's time to. And have joy in that for what you see because you are making it crumble because you have the power. The people that were the strongest in my Wizard of Oz, wonderful Wizard of Oz, were the Munchkins. How many Munchkins were there? Thousands. And they were strong and powerful, but they were suppressed and made small. I really wanted to get that point across. Because did you see a timid Munchkin in the movie? No. They were strong. They had the power. They just didn't know they had the power because they thought of themselves small. You here have what it takes to bring forth the good news, to bring forth yourselves. Now is a time for community. I must say that because community is key, you're going to see things like you've already seen. Your waters are going to destroy. Your fires are going to destroy. You're going to have earthquakes that are going to destroy. You are being watched. You're being accounted for. What do you do during these times? Who are you? How can you help your neighbor? Even if you don't like your neighbor, how can you help your neighbor? Are you giving a hand, a helping hand? Are you opening your hearts? Are you opening your minds? Are you opening your fantasy? Are you opening your pocketbooks? Are you opening your homes? See, the test isn't the people that are going through this. The test is for the people that aren't going through this. That's who's being watched at this time. Don't take this as a stressful thing. Take this as a joyous thing. Because even if you have nothing, you have yourself. You can listen. You can cry with them. You can hold their hand. You can let them know you are here. That's all it takes. It's all God gave you. You came into this world with nothing. You're naked. You're going to leave this world with nothing. So no matter what you accumulate in this life, it means nothing. I know. I had the best of the best. One thing I didn't do, like I should have done, is that become one with him. I knew of him. I understood him. We went to church, but I wasn't quite one with him. So make it easy on yourself in this life. Concentrate on that. Because once you're one with him, it comes out this way. It fills this up. Do not put your responsibility on others. Do not put your own, how do I say this, persona on others. Do not think that others are going to fix you. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you find one that you care about, husband, wife, don't lean on them so much. Honor them, love them, be equal to them, be their comrade, but also be you. Don't lose yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't lose yourself. I think I'm done. I think this is good. I loved my life, and I loved my imagination. I loved that gift that he gave me. He gave that to me, not to make a living, but to bring me joy. And what brought me joy was making others have joy through my words. I end this transmission. Whew. Just in time, my battery's going to go. Hold on, guys. All right. Okay. Whew. Yeah. Yeah, I actually, it's so funny that things just come to me. And now that my jaw is healed and my stitches are healed, I had a staph infection from my surgery, and I woke up one day and I looked like Jay Leno, and I was in so much pain. So now that my jaw is healing, now I can start doing these shows again. So I really appreciate all of you. I'm going to watch that again. I think he was like very interesting man, very interesting. So peace out. If you have any questions, let me know at robynhyatt@yahoo.com. Go to cindycarterhealing.com and check her out. I think I don't know if I talked to you about the sessions that my twin and I did with Cindy of the auras. go to her page and then drop down into the auras. That was amazing. That was actually really amazing. What she does with that. So she's pretty special lady. So we're honored to have her. So I'll try to figure out how I can do a show with her and we can get her on. And I'll probably just not talk and I'll just let her talk because she speaks a little bit better than I do. So you guys, peace out. Love you. Have a great day and be strong. And things are going to be okay. We might have some more turbulence. California was an anomaly. So I really feel in my heart that God is showing us something. Sometimes God says, be still. Wait, I will show you something. When we think all is lost and all these people are crazy that are over our United States. And he's saying, wait, I will show you something. And through this devastation, he is showing us something. And it's like the eyes are opening again. You know, we keep opening our eyes and opening our eyes and opening our eyes. I feel I did a channeling session, actually a remote viewing session on Patreon of California and some things that are underground in California. And there's actually a movie out that they're trying to tell us, it's a Christian movie, of what's happening in California, of children's sweatshops and child trafficking, that it's actually a thing in California that's protected by probably some people in the higher up. I really feel that these fires are to expose a lot of stuff happening in California, and the remote viewing I did, I had, it was very interesting of people that came into our country and things that they brought in underground. And I had some people write me saying I was being a fearmonger of what I was saying. And you know what? Oh, no. When I am told to do something, I will do it. I keep my life at a high state. I keep my life pure as I can. I love God. I'm in Christ consciousness. And when God tells me to say something, even though it's not pleasing to the ears, I will say it so people can be aware. How would you like to say, stay in your house because there's a fire coming, but I'm not going to tell you there's a fire coming because that would make you scared. And so then you stay and you might not live. No, you want someone to tell you, that you want someone to open your eyes. This is where I'm trying to stress to you people that we have discernment. It is time for us to discern. I can tell you something. You decide for yourself if you want to believe it or not. Up to you. It is so up to you. And I love that. I love that you have free agency to believe me or not, to believe anybody or not, to believe, I don't know. But I just want to stress that to you, that I'm not a fearmonger. When I'm told to do something, I will do it, even though it was super uncomfortable for me to go there. Actually, in that remote viewing, I got a little scared because I said, I am saying something that if the wrong people hear it, do they know where I live? You know, I kind of got scared myself. And so, but I was to do that for a reason. So these fires are interesting where they're hitting. They're kind of going over the area I saw, and where they want you to look. So where they want you to look, the fires are here. I want you to look over here because that's what's going on. Because this is a disaster, but there's something way over here that they don't want you to see during this time. So that's all I have to say. Okay, guys. Bye. Have a good day. I'll see if I can do this next week. And then in February, I'll do a free reading. I guess there's a little confusion of how I do my free readings, or my readings. So I do my readings a different way than everybody else. So I like to be alone when I do my readings. So I will take a person's questions and concerns, and what they want me to do. And then I go into my guide and I go into their energy, and then my guide goes into their energy, and we pull out what needs to be said, what their guides need to say to them, what needs to be said to them. And sometimes I will take a week on a reading because I want to make sure I have all the information. And then I videotape it just like this. And then you can ask me questions through email, because it's hard on me when people ask me questions. It breaks into my energy. It breaks into my focus. And so I like it quiet, and I like one-on-one, and I tell you, and because sometimes when I'm recording the readings, I'm getting more information. I'm hearing it. And if someone was talking to me, it would interrupt my information zone that I'm getting for you. So when I do a reading, I'm not even asking for much money, but it's $99 for a reading. And I do as much as I need to do. I get as much information as I need to get. It starts at 30 minutes, the video. I can give you a lot of information in 30 minutes. But if I feel I need to give you more information, I can go up to an hour. I'll go up to 2 hours until it is done. So that's how I do readings. So there was some misunderstanding, because I'm not like a psychic. I am a psychic, but I'm a medium. I'm an oracle, and I go deeper. I'm not a person that likes to sometimes just do fluff. I want to go deep in you. I want to pull it out and have you look at the information that I give you. So that's what I'm about. So I'm going to put a flyer together. I have a lot of testimonies of people, and so I'll send out flyers. And because this year I am trying to, because I'm 63, and so I'm taking my Social Security out early. Shh, don't tell anybody. And so I'm putting it as a nest egg because it's my savings for my future. So I actually was talking to a lady. She goes, you should have started taking it out at 62, put it away. Yeah, it'll be taxed. Just put it away, take the tax out, and you're going to have more money in the bank than you thought you're going to have. Trump is talking about not taxing Social Security. So if he doesn't tax Social Security, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I'm going to have this extra money because I'm going to stay working, and then keep accumulating. But I think I might drop down on working so much and focus more on readings. I'm kind of told that I need to start focusing on the people more. And so I'm taking Fridays off. So I'll have Friday, Saturday, Sunday to do readings, and I need to start focusing on you guys. So if something you are interested in, feel free. I'm more than happy to help you, because a lot of times I learn from you, and it makes me a better person to connect with you. So, okay, now peace out. I'll just stop talking. Thanks, you guys. See you later. Bye. Peace out. Mahalo. And let's see if I can turn this off. Okay. Bye, guys. Thanks.